Hi, hello everyone. My name is Anna, also known as Traveling Knits, over on Instagram and now here on YouTube. And this is my first ever video. I am an Italian knitter based in Milan, for those of you who don't know me, and I've been knitting for quite some time now. I started this journey online to see if I could meet new people, talk about yarn things. I really enjoy seeing other people talking about their knitting, what they've done, their yarn acquisitions, and so I thought I'd start myself. This will be a classic knitting podcast. So, in classic knitting podcast style, I will be talking about what I'm wearing first, then my finished objects, works in progress, yarn acquisitions, and then maybe also plans, future plans, what I plan to do with the yarn I have. So maybe you can give me some inspiration in the comments. Tell me if you like my ideas, if you have some better ones, because I'm always open to learning new things, learning about new patterns, and see what's out there. Here I have my favorite mug with me. I think it's beautiful, and I encourage you to do the same. Get a hot beverage, you're knitting, and listen to me talking while you do that, if that's something you enjoy. First of all, what I'm wearing, this is the Ewelina vest by Alexandra from Vert and Rose. So I test knit this a while back. I will insert some pictures here so you can actually see what it looks like and not just half of it. I really enjoyed this test knit and this finished object. This vest is knit in Drops Air in color number 49, Acorn. It's this beautiful brown color. The pattern is very nice. It's some sort of rib, and you basically start at the back, then work your way up to the back of the color, then do the shoulders, and then do the front. So it's something a bit different from what I usually knit, because usually I start at the shoulders and then go down and then to the front. But I really enjoyed it. I find it really nice to not have that many ends to weave in. I knitted on 4.5 millimeter needles, which is the suggested needle size, and I met gauge because I think I used the suggested yarn as well. I love knitting with Drops Air. It's super fluffy, it's super soft. Of course, you don't wear this next to skin, so it wouldn't be that much of a problem, but it is nice. I think the only modification I made to the pattern was knitting the ties a bit shorter and possibly over less stitches that in pattern. And that's because I was basically running out of yarn a bit. I really like them like this as well. They still create a dramatic bow, just not that dramatic. But the finished object is still one of my favorites. I wear it all the time. Moving on to finished objects, this is a very exciting one. I recently test knit the syrup dress by Ullen Knitwear. I was very happy this test call arrived at the time it did, because I was just about to cast on the syrup sweater. I really enjoy these columns of cables next to columns of knit stitches. I really think that is such a good look. So I was very happy when I got chosen for this test knit. So here is the dress. I will insert some footage of me wearing it so you can see better what it looks like. This dress is knit with two strands held together, one of Merino by Knitting for Olive and one still Knitting for Olive but soft silk mohair. And I chose brown bear for both the merino and the soft silk mohair. I love this color. I had such a hard time deciding on which color I would make, but I decided to go for something that was really that I could wear all the time, such a neutral color, not too light because then it gets dirty. But I didn't want to use a black, for example, because it's not a nice one to work with black yarn. So I'm really happy with my color choice. Recently, Knitting for Olive also posted something on Instagram where it compared their three shades of dark brown next to each other, and it said that the brown bear was the darkest of them all, but it wasn't that cold of a color. It was more on the warm side, and I'm really happy about that because I tend to work better with warm colors. This is a classic, kind of a classic drop shoulder construction. First, you knit the back with increases, as you can see here. After you're done with the back yoke, you pick up for the You pick up for the shoulders, you work the shoulders, and then join the front, do the front yoke, and then join in the round to knit the body. So very basic. I really enjoy that construction. I think it suits me. So I was really happy with that. I was a bit in between sizes, between size 1 and size 2. And when I gauge swatched, I realized I was in between needle sizes as well. She always mentions, Ullen Knitwear always mentions that she is kind of a tight knitter, and I can see that. It was a bit loose on 4.5 millimeter needles, which is the recommended needle size. So I decided to go with 4 millimeter needles and size 2. So a bit of a mix of the two. I also decided to knit size 2 and not size 1 because in size 1 there is one less column when you join in the round. And so you at the underarm you get two knit columns next to each other. And it's not that big of a deal, but I do prefer when they're alternated throughout the whole dress. Other modifications I made were I did add waist shaping. So it's not in the pattern, but I do enjoy waist shaping on most garments. So I'm glad I did it on this one as well. It's not necessary, but I do enjoy them. At the underarm, here you can see. Okay, not that easy to show it, but here is the braid that is at the underarm, and next to it you have two knit columns, and in these two knit columns I did decrease and then increase back again. You will find all the notes on this on my Ravelry page, but basically, yeah, I just decreased 4 points of the round and then increased back again at the same rate to just give it a bit more shape around the waist. And then the big modification I made, obviously, is the sleeves. This is actually a long sleeve dress. But browsing on Ravelry, I was looking at the Mamba dress pictures and projects, and I saw some without sleeves. And honestly, I like them even better, if I can say so. I do enjoy the long sleeve one, but these short sleeve, I find them to be a bit more versatile. In Milan, it's not that cold, so to have something without sleeves that you can just pop on a long sleeve shirt, I feel like I will get a lot more use out of it now that it's short sleeve. What I did is simply not work the sleeves at all. I just picked up the correct number of stitches for the sleeves and then work it just as I did the neckline. So this is the same edge as you can see, and I worked it just the same number of rounds, same closing, and I really like it. This is it. I think it looks so good. It looks so good when it's on. The fit is just amazing. It's such a great pattern. I had a lot of fun knitting it, and I had a lot of fun trying knitting for Olive. So I have knit with Merino before, but I've never knit with soft silk mohair. I'm not usually a huge mohair fan, just because it sheds a lot. But I really enjoy knitting with it. The fabric is just amazing. It's so soft. It's so fluffy. It has the nice halo to it that maybe you can't see on camera like this, but when the sun is shining, it's just beautiful. I did have to vacuum my floor a bit more often than I normally would, but it was worth it. The only thing that bugs me a bit about these yarns is that they're usually used together, and most knitting for Olive patterns use them together, but they have a 25 meters difference. So the merino is 25 meters longer than the mohair. So you're always left with a little bit of merino from when you finish knitting with the two strands together. I feel like it would be better to have them at the same length, but I do understand that you can use this mohair with basically anything, with heavy merino or any other yarn. So I do understand that, but it just bugs me a bit because I have all these little balls of merino left that I don't know what to do with now because it's really not that much. Also, the pattern is for a mini dress, a midi dress, and maxi dress. I personally chose the mini dress, and that is because it was kind of intimidating by the thought of knitting a dress. It actually wasn't that longer than knitting a sweater, also because I didn't do the sleeves. So I'm still very happy with my choice, and I would do it again. I would knit the mini version again. But I must admit, I did decide on the mini version because I was a bit scared of knitting a dress and thought it would take me forever. But it didn't. So I really recommend this project. It was so nice to knit, and now I have such a special piece to wear. The next finished object is actually my own design, and these are the split tabby mitts. As you can see here, they have the classic tabby split that divides the index finger from the rest of the fingers. And I find it so chic and original. So let me put it on so you can see what it looks like. This is it. There is some bulging up here because I do have my watch, but otherwise it wouldn't be. And this is what they look like. I think they're knit in the most gorgeous shade of pink. This is from a local yarn store that's called Lanar, and they have all their own yarn. And this is the Alpaca Baby, which is 100% baby alpaca, in the colorway Mave. It's so soft. It has a nice halo to it, which kind of hides the possible holes in between the fingers where you attach the new yarn, which is great. They are knit on 2.5 millimeter needles at a gauge of 26 stitches and 40 rounds. So it's a fine gauge, but they're so small that they don't actually take that much to knit up. I thought it was just cool to have tabby mitts, but honestly, they're very handy as well. So you can use your finger, you can hold mugs, for example. They're just kind of practical. So I really enjoy them and I enjoy wearing them as well. Probably by the time this video is out, the pattern will be out as well, so I will link it in the description. Currently, it's being tested and I can't wait to see more of my testers' pictures. I've been loving them so far. One thing that I included in these gloves is the thumb slit. So I usually don't enjoy wearing gloves and mittens so much because I always have to take out my phone to look at directions and messages and stuff like that. And whenever I do, I have to take the glove off, write a message, and then put it back on. And that's really annoying. So, what I did is include a thumb slit so you can slip your thumb free to use your phone and stuff whenever you want. This is how it looks like when it's on, and whenever you want to use your phone, you just slip it off. And this is what it looks like when it's off. I only did it on the right mitten because I'm usually tight with my right thumb, but you can add it to the left one as well. There are instructions for that, and I really enjoy this little detail. The mittens come in two sizes, one that is an average women's size and one that is an average men's size. And this takes us to my works in progress. As I was knitting these mittens, I realized that actually knitting the index finger wasn't that bad. I've been scared for so long to knit a pair of full 5 finger gloves. And when I saw that it wasn't actually that bad, I immediately decided to try and make a pair. So this one is knit with the same yarn. You can see it here, in a different color, of course. This is still Alpaca Baby by Lanar. So these are the split line gloves, and I'm about to send this pattern out for testing as well. So this is it. It's a classic glove, and honestly, I feel like it's lacking a bit. Not a lot of people are knitting 5 finger gloves, and I think it's because it's kind of scary to think about all the ends you have to attach to knit the different fingers. It's really not that bad. It still does have all the ends that need to be woven in. Here they are, but I will try it on with them inside. Here they are. They are knit at the same gauge with the same yarn and same needle size, so 2.5 millimeters. I feel like it's very useful to have 5 finger gloves. You can use your fingers instead of those mittens that just have like all the fingers together. They're so practical, and I will be adding the thumb slit on these ones as well, on the right mitten that I haven't knit yet. But I haven't knit that one yet because I've been working on the men's version to make a pair for my boyfriend. I'm still not done with them, still very work in progress, but here it is. Sorry, the needles aren't attached. They do seem freakishly large, but they do fit. I've been really liking this yarn. So this is the same exact yarn as the other ones. This is in the color Denim, I think. This one was in the color Glacè, but everything will be linked down below. This is the blue, denim blue, and I think it's such a nice color. Hopefully that will be done soon because I really want to gift it to him. I think it's so useful to have a pair of gloves, especially as winter is approaching, and so I'm really excited to have them done and finished so we can wear them. Now, this next work in progress is very exciting as well. It's a test knit for the Caladium vest by Emma's Knits. I had a really hard time choosing colors for this one because it's color work. I'll show it to you first. I still have the body to work on, but when I knit something, I always do the edges first. It just looks so much better when it has those things on. You can really start seeing the whole picture coming together. So this is all knitting for olive once again, and this time it's heavy merino held together with the soft silk mohair. So I use these two colors for the main color. So this is heavy merino in the shade powder, and this is soft silk mohair in the shade soft rose. And honestly, I wish this was a bit more like this. This was listed together with the pinks, so I thought it would have more of a pink hue. It's very beigey, but like gray beige. I just don't know if it's my kind of colors. But then the contrast color is this beautiful Bordeaux, and they are both in the shade Bordeaux. So heavy merino and soft silk mohair. I'm still very happy with what I'm making, but I just don't know if it's something that will suit me. But I guess we'll see. And honestly, it's such a cool design, so I'll wear it either way. I was just a bit upset about this one, but when you look at knitting for olive colors, there are so many of them, and it's kind of hard to understand how they would really look in real life and not just on screen because obviously it's always a bit different. I don't have any yarn store nearby where I can go to check out the colorways, so this is what I have. About the pattern, this is a beautiful vest. You just start at the back, cast on the stitches. It doesn't have any shaping for the back, so it's just one straight line. Then you knit down, do the increases for the armhole. Then you pick up the stitches here, do the shoulder bit, then join together, work the front yoke, and then join in the round. So very classic thing there. I have knit color work before, a bunch of times, but when I started knitting on this, I realized I have always knit in the round and never flat. So I've never done anything flat because I've done mittens, I've done the Celeste sweater by Petite Knit, but that is a circular yoke one. So I just never did it flat. Here I had to learn a bit. I don't know how I did. You can see some bunching up here. So there's still much room for improvement, but I'm always happy to learn new techniques and do something I haven't done before, so I was really happy to do this. The edges are just worked in rib, one by one rib, and then closed off with an Italian bind off. No, it's not folded over or anything, it's just one layer, and I find it really nice. They're the same for the neckline and the shoulders, and it looks really nice. At the time I'm filming this, this pattern is not out yet. The testing is still going on. That's why I'm not finished with mine yet. But one thing that, as of now, is not mentioned in the pattern is whether you're supposed to do the color work repeats when they don't fit the whole repeat. As an example, here you could put the color work repeat, but it wouldn't fit the whole 3 stitches, so it would be just 2. And it's not mentioned whether you should do it or not. And looking at the picture, at the sample picture of Emma, she didn't do it, so I didn't do it. But some test knitters have, and honestly, it looks good either way. So I guess it comes down to preference. I think it looks good like this, but it does have some like blank spaces that maybe you can notice a bit. But it's nothing that's bothering me in particular, so I'm happy with what I did. This is it. This is the Caladium vest. And I was going for something a bit that reminded me of fall, but Christmas as well, so it could be a bit more versatile. I'm just regretting this a bit. The powder I wish were a bit more on the pink side with some pink hues. Yeah, I'm not gonna think about it anymore. I have this, I like the design, I like how it fits me, so I'm happy in general, and that's it. Talking about yarn acquisitions, these are somewhat old acquisitions. I got them last summer, but they're somewhat interesting. So the first ones are these two skeins that I got together, which have somewhat of an interesting story to them. Was just about to leave for the mountains in August, at the end of August, and I saw this post on Instagram by Lizon Knits saying she went near Trento here in Italy to get this yarn from a farm that had a rare species of sheep that's called Pecora Tingola Fiemmese. When I saw the post, I went to see where this farm was, and it was just like 15 minutes away from where I was about to go. So, of course, I had to go there and see it for myself. The owner was super sweet. She showed me all the yarn weights, all the different colors. She said she doesn't dye the wool herself. It's all written in the label. It says that all the dyeing is done by Valentina Ferrarini from Officina del Colore Naturale. So she doesn't dye the yarn herself, but she does have the sheep and she spuns the wool. So the yarn isn't exactly cheap yarn, of course, because it's a very small production. So I was glad she had 50 gram skeins, so I didn't spend a fortune on it. I'm so happy I got this. I ended up getting exactly the same colors of Lisa that I saw on Instagram. Actually, I realized that later, but yeah. And this yarn, it's really kind of, it's rustic, super shiny though. You can see it here. It's very, very shiny. And it's a bit dry, I would say, to the touch. Planning to do something like mittens or accessories using some sort of colorwork pattern. I'm not sure what yet. I was thinking about the songbird mittens, but if you have any ideas, any suggestions, please leave them in the comments because I'd be very happy to read through them and see if there's something that appeals to me more than these mittens. So pretty. I love them together. So glad I got two because I was about to get only the blue skein because I said I could find white yarn anywhere. But I'm so glad I got them together because they look so pretty together. So excited about this one. So excited about casting on with these ones. But I want to find the perfect pattern for them because it's not something I can just go back and get. And so I really want to make sure I'm casting on the perfect piece. The other yarn acquisition is still a holiday acquisition. In August, at the beginning of August, I went to Slovenia for holiday. You can see all about it in my highlights on Instagram. I really, really enjoyed that. I stopped at a yarn store in Bled. I was browsing around looking for something local, possibly. I couldn't find anything. I was looking at all these yarns that I could easily find where I live. So I didn't want to get something like that. I wanted to get something that I could only find in Slovenia. So I asked the lady, and she was so kind. She pointed me to this huge basket that had all these skeins in it. Lokateks, I think, is the brand and Zala is the name of the yarn. But honestly, I'm not so sure because I've been looking for it online and I couldn't find much about it. These were extremely cheap. These were €1 per skein. It's 100% wool. I don't know which kind of wool, but it feels super soft. It's in this beautiful, deep, deep, deep dark brown, which I find very, very nice. It's a mix between DK and sport weight. It does look like a DK weight yarn, but it says in 50 grams there are 165 meters, and they suggest needles 3 millimeters or 3.5 millimeters. So maybe it's more on the sport weight, but I feel like I could easily knit this up with 4 millimeter needles. Here it's the color and the dye lot. Everything will be linked down below because I can't get my camera to focus. When I bought this, I was initially thinking about knitting either the kilometer scarf by Handmade by Florence or the Vienna set scarf by Petite Knit, and possibly an Oslo hat or a hat in general to go with it. But counting the skeins I actually have a sweater quantity of them because I think I got around 8 probably. So I think I could easily make a sweater or a cardigan out of it. I have my computer right here. I will go through the ideas I have, but I haven't made up my mind yet. One idea was the Lovisa cardigan by Ingrid Dip. This is actually knit on 4.5 millimeter needles, so maybe this won't work, but I'm fairly used to knitting off gauge, so maybe just a size larger on smaller needles. I do that all the time, so it wouldn't be that much of a problem. The other idea I had was cardigan number 10 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. It's knit on 5 millimeter needles, but I could easily do it off gauge and knit a size larger. I love the details on the neck with the increases, so dainty, so pretty. I just love it. I love the sleeves. I love everything about this cardigan, so I will probably make it at some point. Another classic is the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit. It's still a v-neck cardigan. The finishing is in 2x2 rib. Cardigan number 10 is double knit, I think, but this would be knit on 4 millimeter needles, which is probably better for this kind of yarn. I am leaning more towards cardigan number 10, but I don't know yet because I would have to knit that off gauge. So I'm not sure if I want to have to think about that. I'm so sorry about the lighting. It comes and goes probably when people open the windows and it just reflects. But anyways, these are some of the ideas I have for future projects. But again, if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. I would love to read them. I would love to find some inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I can make more videos. So if you like it, please like and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!